Hello guys, and welcome back to another Reddit Stories video. I'm sure you will enjoy this video because the stories in it are very interesting and exciting. Don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. This story happened to me many years ago. The memory had suppressed itself until just now, when someone asked if I'd been shot at. This is what happened. When I was a young man, about 16 years old, me and my friends used to ride dirt bikes around. We all grew up out in the country, and so would spend our summer days cruising around on dirt bikes and just exploring the countryside. On one particular day, I was hanging out with two other dirt bike riders. I had just gotten a newer, high-end professional bike. This thing was very fast and very loud, much faster than the two guys I was riding with. One of my friends, whose house we were all meeting at, had a very small motocross track built in his backyard. We were having fun riding on it, but I was getting bored and decided to leave them and go stretch my new bike's legs on the open gravel. I rode off by myself for a while when I noticed my clutch cable becoming loose. So I pulled over and was adjusting the tensioner on it when the other two guys come ripping past me at full speed. One of the guys, let's call him Bill, stopped briefly and yelled something at me that I couldn't understand before taking off again. I started the bike and took off after them. It was only a few moments later that I glanced behind me and saw to my horror the grille of a Dodge truck mere inches from my back tire. What ensued was what felt like 30 minutes of this truck actively trying to run us off the road, and even sideswiping me at one point while we were turning. Eventually I realized we weren't going to escape this guy. Not with all three of us riding as a group. So in a brief moment of peace, after we had put some distance on the truck, I indicated to my friends to break off and make their way home, and I will draw the angry truck away and hopefully lose him on a dirt road or something. So they break off and I play as if I'm the slow one, truck takes the bait, and we're off again. Now for the real scary part. I knew this area well, but he knew it better. I took a really rough dirt road that wrapped back around to the main road, but figured if he chased me down the dirt, he would get stuck or have to slow down, and I can break contact. Little did I know, he knew where that road came out and didn't chase me down it, but instead waited at the end of it. I get almost to the end and see his truck, immediately turn around and haul ass back down the dirt. I come back out where I first went in, and to me surprise, the truck wasn't waiting there for me. I guess he had to turn around, which bought me some time. So I go flying down the gravel road he had just been chasing me on, and I get to a T intersection on top of a hill. I take a quick second to see if he's still pursuing me, and he's not. But he is stopped in the middle of the gravel at the bottom of the hill. He's stopped, I'm stopped. I'm thinking, okay, cooler heads can prevail here. I shut my bike off, not a big worry, it's electric start and brand new. As I'm sitting here looking at this truck that's in my estimation 400 to 600 yards down the road, I notice his driver door open. His front windows are tinted black, so I can't actually see the driver, but I see his legs hit the road. Then his back door opens and then closes again. Then I see his legs return to his open driver door and his silhouette between the open door and the truck cab. I couldn't make out his face or what he was doing. Again, this is several hundred yards away, looking through dirty and dusty motocross goggles. But what I do see next is a puff of gray smoke, immediately followed by a loud snap, followed by a dull boom. My heart raced as I immediately realized he just tried to kill me. I started that bike and gave it everything it had. I never saw that truck again. The sheriff came out after my buddy had called when they heard the gunshot. Apparently the guy that tried to warn me at the start had yelled, "Run, he's trying to hit us." It was also told to me that it had started because the guy that tried to warn me had passed the truck coming the opposite direction and guesses he must have flicked rocks up at his truck or something. Had that been the case, then obviously the guy would have every right to be upset, and it could have been sorted out without violence. Trying to run down teenagers on dirt bikes and then taking a shot at them is not a proportional response in my estimate. Also, the sheriffs never received a call about us, so the truck guy clearly wasn't just following us to get our information. They also never found a shell casing or ever found the shooter. In short, it's hard to describe real fear until you've heard the snap of a bullet zipping past your head. Have a good night. Stay safe. My last passenger exits the car and slams the door, ignoring my goodbye, engrossed in her phone. Alrighty then, I mumble, rating her and opening my map back up. I check the time and I still have time for one last ride before I should head home for some sleep. I set my signal to available and just wait. My last drop-off was for the college dorms, so if I wait a little bit, I'm sure I'll get another. It's Friday night, everyone's out. I'm tapping my red-painted fingers on my wheel when I see her. A teenage girl, standing on the sidewalk under a streetlight. She's small, maybe 5 feet, large brown eyes with a thick dark lash, blonde hair pulled back in a braid and a cardigan covering her shoulders. She has a small brown purse in her hands. She looks like a doll, and she looked anxious. I pull up a little and roll down my window. "Hey hun, you okay?" I ask. "Oh, yes, I am. I'm just..." She looks down the road, waiting for my ride. "Are they late?" I ask her. She's quiet as she stares down the empty street. "Yes, I suppose they are," she whispers. She seems scared, and I can't decide if she's scared because of the person or because of their absence. "I can wait with you if you would like," I tell her, putting my status in unavailable on the app. "Oh, you don't need to. I'm sure I'll manage," she says shakily. "It's no problem. We've already spoken more than me and my last passenger, and I was with her for 20 minutes. I could use the company. Come on in," I tell her, unlocking my door. She pauses, and then slowly climbs in. She seems familiar to me, her small frame and blonde hair. Very reminiscent of my sister when we were her age, about 10 years ago. When I see her dress up close, I see it has little flowers all over it. The blush color of the flowers match her cardigan. "Your outfit is cute, very vintage, I love it," I say, handing her a water bottle. She smiles small and mumbles something that sounds like thank you. We sit in silence for a few minutes before her voice squeaks. "You have pretty eyes, they're very green, like an olive," she says shyly. "Oh, thank you. I made them myself, actually." I wink at her. She laughs softly and looks back at the road. "It's been about 15 minutes. Do you want to call them?" I ask her. "I don't have a phone, and I don't know the number," she tells me. "Do you know where it is that you need to go?" I ask her. She looks at me and nods. "How about I take you? I do it for a living anyways," I offer. Oh, that's so nice of you, but I don't have any money to pay you with," she stammers. "It's on me. Consider it my Good Samaritan act for the day." I pull up my GPS app. "Go ahead and put in your address here." She methodically punches in the information. "Can I ask you a question?" she asks me. "Sure," I respond. "Why are you being so nice to me?" she asks, slowly turning to me. I smile sadly. "You seem familiar to me. I think you remind me of my sister. She lives far away from me now. She got married and has kids. I miss her so much, and I would never want her waiting alone outside in the dark. A lot of creeps out at night." I pull up the GPS map. Only 15 minutes away. Not bad at all. She seems to accept that as an answer as she leans back and gets comfortable in her seat. "You're a nice sister," she tells me quietly. I put the car in drive as I pull out into the road. "I definitely try to be," I respond. We let the radio fill the silence as we drive through an area I'm not super familiar with. The very manicured trees start getting more scraggly as we turn down the dark curve of street. The app says 2 minutes away, so I finally ask her. "Where am I taking you?" I ask her. She doesn't respond as we pull up to iron gates. I slow down and lean forward, trying to see where we ended up. "Is this?" I begin. "Thank you for the ride. You're a very nice person. I like nice people," she tells me, patting my hand. "You're welcome," I say slowly, looking at her in my passenger seat. I stop the car and she unbuckles her seatbelt. "I'm Marianne, by the way," she says. I smile back at her. "Sadie, it was nice to meet you, Marianne," I tell her. "It was a nice drive, and thank you again for the ride home," she beams. "Home?" I ask, looking up at the rusted sign that has weathered over the years. "Goodbye, Sadie." She steps out of the car, waves at me through the window, and walks past the sign I've been staring at. Sanitarium. And then I finally realize where I recognize her from. She doesn't remind me of my sister. She was on the news. She murdered her 2 sisters in cold blood and took their eyes as souvenirs. They were calling her the Doll Eyes Killer. When they asked her why she did it, she looked at them confused before speaking. Because they weren't nice, she said matter-of-factly. I'm still staring after her slack-jawed when she looks over her shoulder at me and winks. She was eyeing me from across the bar. Damn, she was fine. I never see Tail looking at me like that. Sleek eyes with irises of amber scanned me up and down. I turned my body so she could get a good look, but pretended not to notice. Her black hair was up in a ponytail. When she left the table and started walking towards me, she pulled it free to let it fall across her bare shoulders. The strapless top glimmered against the bar light in a multitude of rubies. Her latex pants sounded like they were saying hello with every step. "Can I buy you a drink?" she said as she sat in the stool next to me. I could smell the floral perfume she wore. A hint of metal hit my nose, but I thought it was just something around the bar. The place was a bit of a dive. "You can give me anything, sweetheart." She took it better than other broads I've said that to. She actually smiled. God damned if that didn't make her prettier. Calling the barman, she ordered 2 whiskey and cokes. I asked her if she couldn't do with something more fruity, but she said she wanted to impress me, then winked. The drinks arrived, and I downed mine quick. Hers just sat on the bar. She stared at me and tapped her fingers on the wood. Condensation made a watery drip slide down the glass. Why the hell wouldn't she just drink it, and why was it bothering me so much? Those eyes, staring a hole through me. Their sleekness turned sinister. Her smile held firm, like she was waiting on something exciting. The tapping echoed in my ears. I wanted to tell her to stop. I was so close to slapping that glass off the bar, grabbing her, and shaking while I screamed for her to look somewhere else. I would have right then and there, until she leaned in and whispered into my ear. "I want to give you head." She licked her lips. My pants tightened, and I forgot what I was mad about. I didn't even know her name, but I grabbed her hand and took her to the bathroom without hesitation. I wasn't about to go into the men's room to let some sleaze peek at me in mine. Busting in, some chicks were still in there doing makeup or yapping. When they saw us, they scrambled out. That's for the better. An empty stall was found, and I locked the door. Someone was still in a stall a couple doors down, but I didn't care. Neither did she, as she started kissing my neck, licking it even. She nibbled a bit, which was nice at first, but then it stung. "Hey, fucking watch it," I said sharply. She lifted up and apologized. I just rolled my eyes and said, "Here, let me." My tongue found its way into her mouth. I explored more than she had my neck. Feeling teeth, gums, tongue, that's how it was done, not whatever freaky shit she was into. She started to moan as I felt her up, touching a breast and then going lower. My tongue moved around more. Hers was soft while mine was rough, though mine was warm while hers was cold. Huh? A cold tongue? I moved my tongue more. Her hand was on my cock inside my pants, gripping it tight. She was moaning. No, not moaning. The moans had turned into laughter. I didn't like it. Her grip tightened. I was going to tell her to let go, but my tongue hadn't left her mouth yet. I felt sharp edges. My tongue found her teeth again, and they were pointed and had edge. I pulled my face away. She was laughing now, mouth closed. When her laugh increased in volume, her mouth warranted opening. Rows of sharp teeth like a dozen blades made up her smile. The hand not holding my cock went to my neck, choking the air out. She leaned in and whispered again, "I'm going to suck your blood dry, you fucking pig." With a screech into the air, she slammed her jaw down on me, aiming for the neck. Bringing my hand up held her back by inches. She snapped and bit at me. I wanted to call out to whoever was in the stall next to us, but I think they left when we started fooling around. My free hand fumbled behind me for the stall lock. My cock felt like it was being ripped off. She held tight, gripped like a vice. Her teeth continued to snap at me, threatening to take my nose with each lunge. There it was, the cold metal bar. I twisted it. We fell on the hard linoleum. The grip she had on my manhood disappeared, thank Christ. Her body flew over me from the force while I laid on my back. Collecting myself, I lifted my head to look behind me. In my upside-down vision, she was on all fours. Huffs like a hungry wolf belted from her mouth. Drool dripped from the edges of her lips. The way she scrambled towards me sent shivers through my body, making my ass pucker. I flipped over just in time, but she tackled into me. She set me sprawling into the mop bucket still in the bathroom's corner. Black and brown shit water splashed all over me. The mop snapped in two from our jumbled collision. She recovered much faster. Already back on two legs, she stood over me looking eerily like the normal broad that eyed me not half an hour before. Her claws and fangs rained down while I had nowhere left to go. A chunk was ripped free from my arm. Claws slashed 3 bloody lines into my cheek. Reaching behind, I grabbed the broken mop handle and held it in front of myself. Then she pounced on me. My eyes closed and I hoped for the best. She moved too fast to stop herself. I heard a wet crunch and felt the handle's weight increase. I opened my eyes to see her impaled on the sharp mop handle. Black ooze dripped from her pierced heart. She fell backwards without a sound, face still in a primal snarl. "Yeah, how do you like that, you vampire bitch?" I shouted at her, waiting for her body to burn away like I had seen in the movies. It didn't. Her body just laid there, seeping red-black ooze. Sharpened teeth returned to normal. She would have looked flawless if not for the bloody struggle. No one had come into the bathroom yet. Imagining what the scene must look like, I ran to lock the door. If someone saw me with her, I would go to prison for the rest of my life. Would anyone believe I had to stake her heart because she was a vampire? No, they wouldn't. Most of the paper towels were ripped free from the dispenser. I soaked as much as I could, but the flows just continued to gush. Soon, I was out of paper towels with seemingly no progress made. I scanned the room and saw an elevated window. My best bet would be for both of us to just get the fuck out of there and hope no one saw our faces. It was hard enough standing on tiptoes trying to force the rusted window open, but I managed it. Now I needed to shove her body through. I went to her and started wrapping my hands around to find a grip. Ooze made me slip more than once. Finally getting a hold of the back of her shirt, I started lifting. And then her eyes opened. She whispered in my ear one last time. "Men like you disgust me. You're a dog, low or even. You'll be my pet. Your name shall be Spot. Call me your mistress, Spot." Then her teeth were deep in my neck, tearing so violently that I was nearly decapitated. I love being Spot. Mistress takes such good care of me. My head hangs limply since it was almost taken, but Mistress would never kill me. I bring her meals and she calls me a good boy. How that feeling warms me so. I love my mistress. Thanks for watching this video. Write in the comments what story you like the most. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.